We are recording? All right. What's up, YouTube? What's up, everybody? You have Josh the Rainmaker,
TJ Hollywood,
and it's going down.
Bam.
For real. Another Tuesday, so another Tuesday tutorial. It is a day to learn, to be better, and all that good stuff. Because any day that you're being better is a great day, in my opinion.
Whoop, whoop. Diving into knowledge and the technique.
That's right.
Into all the good things that come with martial arts.
Yeah, which is a lot. There's a lot that goes into martial arts and fitness. I mean, they're kind of hand in hand.
Oh, yeah.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, people do martial arts for fitness.
Exactly.
And to do martial arts, you want to be fit.
100%.
Boom.
So today's tutorial is all about the side kicks and spinning side kicks. We're going to teach you how to do them, when to use them in a fight, and why they are effective. Speaking of which, the spinning side kick is one of the most powerful kicks you can produce because of the length it takes to get there. The distance the foot travels, the spin, the momentum, all that go together. And then you put all of that into the tiny point of your heel, and that is how you do it. That's how you end a fight.
The heel is a hard part of your foot.
Yeah,
too.
it's very solid.
A lot of power, a lot of distance, the reach, full leg distance, and then that heel contact. It's a good kick. That's one of my favorites. There's so many reasons why I love side kicks.
Yeah. TJ is a sidekick lover. He loves when we have sidekick days in the studio. He's all about the sidekicks. So let's break down a sidekick first.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, so we have a left sidekick, we have a right sidekick. We'll start with our left one because it's forward. We're talking about kickboxing style here, people. There's a lot of different styles. Yeah. It's called different things. We are strictly talking about the kickboxing and the sidekick. So sidekick, you're in your fighter stance, and then you kind of push your hip forward because you want to be like on a skateboard stance. Then you bring that knee nice and high and a nice across your body. You want that cross because that's going to kind of load you up. And then you lean as you strike with that heel, hitting with your heel. Yeah. We do a lot of front kicks in the studio as well, but front kicks are with the ball of your foot.
You also don't turn your hips.
And you don't turn your hips.
Squared up.
That's why it's called front kick. Straightforward.
Front kick, ball.
Side kick, heel. The best part is it tells you exactly where you're going. Front kick's forward, side kick is side.
So if your front's facing your opponent and you're trying to do a side kick, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's something messed up. So the first step is just kind of turn your body sideways to get that knee nice and high, shoot into it. Yep. As you get more comfortable with your side kick, you will also be able to pivot on your standing foot. Now, going a side kick against the bag and against the opponent is different. Side kicks are stationary. You got a little bit limited yourself and distance and spacing and stuff like that. The really cool thing about hitting someone and not a bag is you can really launch into that side kick.
That's where it gets real fun.
That's where it gets really fun. And not only fun, but way more power, way more build up. And if you can land like a moving side kick, very awesome. Yeah. It's really good stuff.
It's great to close the distance. If your opponent's kind of keeping you at real long reach, it's just like, oh, just kidding. Okay.
Kapow!
Damn.
That's right. You're not only covering distance, but you're covering distance with a purpose, which is ending with a heel. And like TJ said, a very long weapon here. So you don't even have to be super close to land that side kick.
Especially when you have that pivot in that gives you that extra inch or two.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Boom.
Not only extra little inches, but also a little extra momentum, a little more snap at the end of that heel. And if you watch our punching tutorial, it's about the snap. Yep. So that's a major thing. If you're doing your side kick and you're leaving it out, you're doing yourself a disservice. You want that snap. You want to pow, hit it, and bring it right back. So bringing your knee up is called chambering your kick. That's what it's all about. It's kind of like a gun. You chamber it up, and then you launch it out, you rechamber, you step it down, or you can drop it straight to the ground as long as you have that snap. Snap's important. So that's the left side kick. Right side kick, very similar. You just have your right side forward. Same basic thing. You bring the knee up, you lean. If you're good, you pivot in. And it's okay to start out slow and don't pivot. The structure is the same. The only difference is literally that little bit of pivot. Now, if you're working on a traveling side kick, like you're going into it, if you've ever been in track and if you've ever done javelin, I think of it the same way as javelin. So javelin, similar footwork. You step your foot back and you throw the javelin. Same basic principle. You load it up. Yes, exactly. So you bring your right foot behind your left foot and you snap it out, it's going to bring a lot more power. Now, you only want to be in that for a very split second because this position right here is not a very balanced.
Kind of a compromising position.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things you want to be just stuck in there. So when you do it, make sure you're doing it with a purpose, and then you can skip forward.
Well, just like the chambering, when you load that kick, you don't want to then load it, wait a second, and then kick. Because they're going to be like, all right, there's a side kick coming. It should be a quick, chambered, bam.
Pow! Exactly. And with every kick, with every punch, hopefully your goal is to set it up. I know Bruce Lee really liked to do one of these things. He goes like that. So he goes, pow! And so he throws his hand even above the person's head because he doesn't care where this hand's going. He's just like, distraction, and then he hits him. And I really like that because
it's kind of like an illusion almost. It's watch the hands, right, and then the foot comes.
Exactly. You see in boxing sometimes when they get real cocky, they're like, pow, and it's just rude. But I mean, in a fight,
but it works sometimes.
All is fair in love and war. So that's the basic side kicks, the left side kick or the right side kick. Again, bringing the knee up, leaning as you strike with that heel, getting a pivot in there if you're comfortable with it.
That lean's really important too. That's
lean's
really
very important.
Blending your body and more muscle groups into the power of the kick.
Not only that, but it's way better for your hips.
Yeah.
If I try to side kick like this and I'm straight up, I can tell you there's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pinching.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's going to throw you off balance. It might seem like it takes more balance to lean, but at the end of the day, when you get that kick really down, your balance will be better because the weight's distributed properly.
Exactly. And like we talked about in our punching videos, you want to exhale with every strike, whether it's a punch or a kick.
Tighten the core.
You want to exhale as you snap it, and that's going to really tighten up your core, which is going to help with balance too, because a loose core, you're going to be feeling all over the place. So now let's go into a spinning side kick. So spinning side kick, we're going to start with the right one. If you've ever done a spinning back fist, it's similar with the step. You're going to take a small step through. So if you have like a line between your feet, the goal is to bring your left foot on the other side of that line. Then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of like pivot on both your feet. You're going to shoot those heels towards the person. You're going to look over your other shoulder, and then you're going to bring that knee up as you get that kick in. Now, again, looking over your shoulder is very important. Your body's going to go where your head goes, and your body's not going to go where your head doesn't go. And also, to throw a random kick is a horrible idea.
Oh, yeah.
So,
wasting energy and it leaves you open.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make sure that when you throw that side kick, you're connecting with something, because wasting a kick is wasting energy, and you never want to do that in a fight. That's bad decision. So again, you're in your normal fighter stance, your left foot's forward, your right foot's back. You take your left foot and step it over. I like to step into my pivot already. Bow.
Yeah, have that foot turn.
Yeah. Now, if you're starting out slow, you can step and then pivot. But again, I like to take every chance I can to cut out time in a combination. Like TJ said, you don't want to be stuck here like this, because they're going to be like, oh, there's a kick coming. Yeah, if you're in a fight and you do what TJ just did, it's a lot of time to just step out the way.
In the back of the head.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. Like, it's not good.
Now, that being said, like you said, it's okay to break it down, do it slowly, but ideally, once you're doing the move, you want to be going smooth.
As they always say in martial arts, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Yep. Start out doing it slow. Take the step by step, turn the head, bring the knee, bring it back. But as you get more comfortable, try to find those places where you can safely and effectively take out time. So that's where that stepping right into that pivot goes, so I can look over, throw that side kick out.
And what I love about what you're doing too is that most time in classes, we always teach a spinning side kick as a follow-up to another side kick.
Yeah.
Or another
So like a left.
Yeah. So the point there is that you don't have to do the side kick as a follow-up. The side kick can be the going in move. You can
100%.
Step in and pop it in straight into that.
Yes. In fact, I love a spinning side kick after a roundhouse kick. So if I'm on the back, I like to roundhouse, bring that foot back, and then step into a right spinning back fist. A spinning back kick, side kick. So I like to really balance my roundhouses with the side kick. Not only does it kind of bounce you right into position, but it's really hard to see it coming because they're so focused on that roundhouse that when you step back into that side kick, it's also two different angles. Side kick is like straight forward. It's called a side kick just because it's pointed sideways, but the arrows of that momentum are straight down the center.
Supposed to a cross as opposed to a hook with the roundhouse.
Exactly. So I really like to set up my side kick. Speaking of which, again, you should always be setting up your moves. There's not a lot of times where you're just going to be like, because they're going to see it coming unless you mix it up.
And like you said before, wasted kick.
Exactly. You never want to waste an energy. Yeah. And it's so easy to get out of the way because a heel is like the size of a small orange.
Almost the size of your fist.
Yeah,
about a little smaller.
Yeah, a little smaller than your fist. So that means all you have to do is move about 4 inches to the left or right, or even just turn sideways, and that could be enough to move. So that's why you want to keep an eye on your target by turning your head, lifting that heel up, and then striking. So when it comes to the spinning side kick, again, you can follow it up, or you can use it after a whole bunch of moves. So you can do it like we do in classes a lot. We do a left side kick, drop it down into a right side kick. The majority of the reason we do that is just so you get comfortable with the side kick. Repetition is key. So throwing the left and the right is very good for your body and your brain to connect with those side
And of
kicks.
course, you can go both directions. The spinning side kick doesn't have to be the right leg. You can, you can do a right side kick into a left spinning side kick.
Exactly. And another thing that we see a lot with spinning side kicks is we see people lean too much. You don't want to lean a lot with your spinning side kick. It's like there's a pull straight down from your head right into the floor. That's where your balance is, right here. If you start to go sideways, if you start to lean, you're going to be really throwing your body's momentum off. So when you do your spinning side kick, try to stay nice and tall. I mean, you still want to be good fighter stance, so bent knees, good stuff like that. But you don't want to like try to lean forward or back. Try to stay up as you go into that spinning side kick.
Would it be correct to say that the leaning should happen as you kick?
Yes.
So the spin, you should be, like you said, straight up and down, but as the kick comes out, that's when the lean happens.
Exactly. And that's going to propel that foot forward and those hips and all those muscles to join into it.
So leaning early will throw you way off.
Exactly. If you think about it like a top, you don't see tops with like one arm sticking out because that's going to make the top wobble all over. Yeah. And that's going to be more energy, and it's going to be slower than just that quick spin straight up and so very important. And like TJ said, you can do it right to left, you can do it right or left to right, you can do it literally any way, and you can incorporate the spinning side kick into a lot of different moves.
Yeah, it can follow a front kick, roundhouse, it can follow punches.
Yeah.
So, and you can always throw off your opponent. You know, throw one side kick normal, do some combos, throw another side kick as a spinning side kick.
Yeah, speaking of that, when I'm in classes and we have 2 side kicks back to back, or I find a spot where I can throw that spinning side kick, sometimes I'll do the combo standard side kick, and then the other time I'll switch it and throw a spinning side kick. It's the same leg, so you're still doing pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, still engaging the same muscles.
And it's coming from 2 different angles. Actually, it's coming from the same angle, but it seems like it's coming from 2 different angles, which can mess their mind up.
Which that's the goal in that situation, is you want to have as many variations for the same thing. Like, you want to be really good with a kick, but you want to be able to do that kick in different ways to throw your opponent.
Exactly. So, like Bruce Lee always says, I don't fear a man who's practiced 1,000 kick one time, but one kick 1,000 times. It's the same basic side kick. All you're doing is adding a little bit of variation to it to make it a little more devastating, more momentum, and more power behind it.
So on a bag, obviously we normally go straight out from the hip. Where would you say is the most effective place to do a side kick in a fight?
In a fight, you want to hit them in the solar plex. Right here, like a little bit below that chest, above the belly level. This is a really hard spot on your body to strengthen. It's like one of the hardest parts to strengthen.
Yeah. And if they're not engaging their core, that's gonna knock the wind right out.
Yes.
I've actually done that in a sparring match, and the side kick, and the guy dropped to his knees. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool.
and like you said, it doesn't take a lot, especially with a side kick or a spinning side kick, if you hit it correctly, and that's why you look at where you're kicking. If you just like throw it out there, you don't know where you hit them, and you could hit them, but if you're not hitting them in the right spot with that accuracy, it's not going to be as effective.
Yeah, it won't be as effective.
So if you can land a spinning side kick straight forward, straight to the sternum area, that's gonna drop them pretty quickly. That's called knocking the air out of someone.
Yep.
And it sucks if you've ever had it happen to you.
It does suck.
But it feels really good if you do it to someone else. So again, accuracy. And so another thing we see with the spinning side kick, or even just the regular side kick, is they hit really flat-footed. again, you want to hit with that heel, so you want to point those toes towards you. Even pointing them down a little bit kind of really helps angle that heel and connect with it.
Now, I know some martial arts styles have you kick with the blade of your foot.
Yeah.
What would you say is the major difference there?
I would just say the hardness. I'd say the difference between like slapping them with the forearm meat or slapping them with the bone of the back of the hand. The harder part when it hits is going to transfer the most momentum, and it's going to affect you less.
Yeah.
Bones are a lot stronger than muscles, and you feel a muscle hit a lot more. That's why when you're protecting from a roundhouse, you hit with your shin. Shins are very hard, and if they hit you in the calf or the shin, the calf is going to hurt a lot more, and it's going to damage you a lot more.
Now, that's not to say that it's not still going to hurt, especially if you don't do body hardening.
Very true.
Yes. Don't go roundhouse someone in the leg and they'll be like, ow, why'd that hurt? I used my shin.
100%. I was watching a Muay Thai video, and he was talking about how if you think that there's ever going to be a time in your fighting career that fighting's just not going to hurt, you're completely wrong. You still have nerves. You're still human. That's how it works. Really, all you're doing is kind of deadening the nerves a little bit so it's less, and you're getting your mind prepared for the impact.
Yeah, you can toughen yourself to the pain.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, just like someone can sit for a 5-hour tattoo that hurts the entire time, so they do it. You know? You can get used to getting hit over and over and over again, so it doesn't phase you as much.
But you're still going to feel
You're still going to get hurt.
Just like the tattoo. That was a great analogy. Yeah. So for the spinning side kick, again, key points is to step your foot across that center line. You turn the feet, you look over that other shoulder, you bring that knee up, you strike with the heel, drop it down, resetting into fighter stance, or you can set it to the other stance depending on what you're going for. But kickboxing, your regular fighter stance is right foot back, left foot forward. So you're going to hit that kick, and you're going to bring it right back.
So like I said, the most common way we do it is 2 side kicks back to back. So instead of stepping over, technically you'd be doing the first kick. You could land straight into it.
Yes.
So you wouldn't be stepping over, you're landing into the step over for the side.
And that right there is some of those key points of being able to shave time off of your kick, but still have it being effective. Like I said, if you did a left roundhouse, you could drop it if you have the muscle coordination right into that spinning side kick. And that's going to be really important.
So things like that are okay. You're not really cutting corner. It's still good form, but it does take more balance, more coordination. So if you're new to it, you want to start off very slow, because anytime you make things go quicker, you're increasing the chances of it.
Exactly. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And your brain will learn better. It's not just your body learning, it's a brain-body connection. And you need to start out slow so that you can become fluid at that kick.
You want that muscle memory. You want to do it, like I said, 1,000 times for one kick. Because if you're in a fight and you're thinking about, okay, I need to step over, you're already going to lose that fight.
Yeah, exactly.
You need your body to react without your mind having to think of every step of the way.
Exactly. If there's a move that you're not 100% comfortable with and you're trying to throw it for the first time in a fight, not a good idea. I do not recommend that at all. Practice makes perfect, so you want to practice it a lot of times before it comes just second nature. Just throw it out.
You know, even the Karate Kid practiced doing that in the post for a very long time before he used it in the
painted arena. A lot of fence posts
even though
before he blocked. Even though it was a legal kick. I don't know. I don't know about Karate Kid.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take your word for it. So how to defend a side kick.
Yeah.
Like we said, get out the way. So you can kind of see this line on the ground between the right and the black. The red and the black. Again, a side kick is coming straight for your body. So my preferred method is to get out of the way. Small step. That's all it takes. So you can step to the left by stepping to the left and pivoting, or you can step to the right. Right's a little easier because it's just really one step and your other foot slides. Pow!
I would say dodging a strike is always more preferable than absorbing a strike or blocking a strike.
Always.
Always.
Always. If you can get out the way, it's not going to take as much energy or physical damage as taking a kick.
Like, sure, maybe you can take the kick, but after a while, those kicks are going to add up.
Exactly.
That is
just get out the way. That's my preferred method of a side kick. And the other great thing is if TJ's throwing side kick and I get out the way, I'm in a pretty good position to follow it up with any sort of punches and kicks and stuff like that. And that's the goal. If you can do your step in a 45-degree angle forward, so if I step to the right or I step to the left and I'm closer, that's going to be the best thing ever. So I believe it's called cutting corners. I practice this. So what I do, stay here for a second. Kind of going off balance, but so I got 2 gloves here. My drill for this I created when I was getting ready for the last fight. I put 2 shoes on the ground, one facing one way, one facing the other way, in a fighter stance position. What I do is I step past that shoe. Now I'm over here. Then you can do some circling, and then again practice that step on the other side. I really love that drill. It's one of the best things. Yeah, so you can literally do it with 2 shoes or 2 gloves, literally 2 objects. You put them in roughly fighter stance. The cool thing is, from this side, this is fighter stance, but if I jump to the other side, it's still fighter stance. So you have 2 sides that you can spin around, and when you step to the side, you can practice shadow boxing or moving those feet, because feet movement is very important in a fight.
And again, all about conserving energy. If you are going to get out of the way, it should be in a way where you can immediately counterattack. If you're getting out of the way and all of a sudden you're completely out of place and you have to reset again, you're now wasting more energy and giving your opponent time to then recover from their missed strike and go at you again.
Exactly. The really, really cool thing about spinning side kicks too is as you get more comfortable, you can add a jump to that, and we will probably teach you that later as we get more into it. The spinning side kick or the spinning back kick, either one of them actually becomes more powerful when you jump into that kick. It's more momentum and all that good stuff. Same basics, but obviously there's a lot more technical training that goes into it, and the technical accuracy that goes into it. Again, I would never try to do this in a fight unless you had that that moment.
Well, just like adding a jump to a Superman punch, it does put you more at risk, makes you more vulnerable. So if it hits, it's going to be a much more effective hit, but anytime you leave the ground, you're more at risk to be taken.
Yeah, and all my weight is off, so if I jump in the air and TJ pushes me, I'm automatically going
Good luck
in a
landing
direction.
right back in your fighter stance, right?
Exactly.
It's like, okay, I hope I land on my feet at that point.
But yeah, so I think that pretty much covers everything about side kicks, spinning side kicks, and even a little bit of the jumping side kick. Again, you're sideways to your opponent. You bring that knee up, and you lean as you connect with that heel. Heel is important with the side kick. Again, it is very hard, and it can impact very solidly. The spinning side kick is the same way, either left or right. You take the step across that center line. You pivot on those feet, you turn to look over that second shoulder, and then you snap out, returning to fighter stance.
And just like any other strike, keep your core tight, exhale as you do it, and have your eyes on your target. So especially that spinning one, don't throw the kick until your eyes are looking at where you want to
That's exactly. Always. Whether you're on a bag and you want to practice how you perform, so especially on a bag, you want to be doing that stuff too.
Even shadow boxing. I mean,
even
you
shadow
might kick
boxing.
your wall if you're not paying attention, you know? So.
Very, very good point. So those are our secrets to the side kicks. We will see you next Tuesday for another tutorial Tuesday.
Love it. All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks guys.
We'll see you tonight, 6:15 live 15-minute hit workout.
That's right.
Be there or be square.
Or be square.
Just kidding. Just be there.